All right, what is up? Welcome to the Spoiler Kings. My name is Saint Kramer with Brandon over here, Brian and Grizzly down there, and we're gonna talk about How to Train Your Dragon, the 2025 live action remake from DreamWorks. So we're gonna get into our ratings at the end, our likes, some of our dislikes, and then we'll get into box office numbers and Rotten Tomatoes at the end. So we want to hear from you guys. So if you're in the live chat, leave a comment, let us know what you think about it, and we'll get into your comments at the end of the discussion. But before we get into all that stuff, Brian, you got a breakdown of what this movie is about, if anybody
Sure.
doesn't already know.
On the rugged island of Berg, a Viking boy named Hiccup defies centuries of tradition by befriending a dragon named Toothless. However, when an ancient threat emerges that endangers both species, Hiccup's friendship with Toothless becomes the key for forging a new future. Together, they must navigate the delicate path towards peace, soaring beyond the boundaries of their worlds and redefining what it meant to be a hero and a leader. I mean,
Yeah.
that's it. That is
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah. Like I said, it is a remake of the animated one. Shit, when did that one come out?
2010.
10?
Not terribly long
Yeah,
ago.
2010. Yeah, 15 years ago. So, not old enough to be even considered a classic yet, even though it kind of is. So we'll start with our likes. Actually, we'll start with Brian because since you're down there.
Cool.
Yeah. What did you like about it?
I think for anyone who's a huge hardcore like How to Train Your Dragon fan, you're going to really love everything because I think they really touched on each of the characters. It kind of gave you a very nostalgic feel. Not everything was beat for beat in the first half, but then once you get past that first 45 minutes, it kind of changes. But that first 45 minutes, the things were different. They definitely did different things with a lot of it. So I think that was fine. I think DreamWorks did an amazing job with the how it looked. I think Toothless was amazing and looked amazing. I think the casting was actually pretty good. I think a lot of people, all the hate that they got, they didn't warrant it. I think they even explained how they got different races of people in this little town, this little island. I think they did a really good job with that. I think and bringing those type of things out really captured what they're trying to go after in this movie. I think that as far as who's actually meant for the children, I think children love it. I mean, in the dragons are right up there next to dinosaurs, so people are going to like that aspect and seeing those type of things because it came out in 2010. Really, even the people that saw it when they were young then are only 30 now. So it's not this huge gap from the people that it was actually meant for. So I think they did. It was a pretty good movie, and I think I enjoyed the experience. So those are positive things.
Yeah. Okay. What were you, Brian, man? What you like about it?
Well, as a remake, it's definitely respectful of its predecessor because it's pretty much identical. If I'm being honest, they don't really any changes they make are
at first 30 minutes. It's not the same.
It's my turn. It's my turn.
You're gonna get
it's my turn.
You said that and you're wrong.
It's my turn. It's my turn. It's my turn
right now. Watch.
It's my turn.
Yeah.
It's pretty much identical in like what little changes there are pretty minimal or not very noticeable. Pretty much I found it to be beat by beat. It pretty much respects the vibe of the original. It doesn't fall into the trap of a lot of Disney remakes are kind of guilty of this. They kind of seem ashamed of their predecessors, but this one did not. It almost kind of felt like the original come to life. They didn't really mess with the formula. They didn't mess with the look of the characters. I liked how some of the costuming, the look of a lot of the characters was almost kind of cartoonishly exaggerated, like the original was, which I like. They kind of did it with Stoic. They did it with Gobber for sure. They did it with a lot of the designs of the like the Viking helmets, for example. Burke looked good. Burke itself looked good.
Mm-hmm.
The dude who played Hiccup, Mason Thames, I thought he did a great job. I thought all around the table, pretty much the acting was pretty well executed. So yeah, I guess it in that sense, if they were going to make an animated version, it did what it probably should have done.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I kind of agree with both of you guys, at least for like, the costumes look good. Burke looked awesome. I did enjoy the few new things that they did introduce. Especially with all the hate Nico Parker was getting from a lot of people, them actually putting it in the story on why there's a bunch of different people and not just like, a bunch of white people. It's like you had I think you had like
people, you had Hispanic people, you had different people
like
in there.
a lot of Asian people in there too, and and it was all, and it made sense why they did it. It was like, yeah, cool. Like they all came to this one section because this is the last spot of where the dragons are. So I'm like, oh, cool. It didn't take away from the movie; it added to the movie, I thought, and it was cool. And then everyone bitching and moaning about Nico Parker. She was awesome in it, honestly.
Yeah, she was absolutely fine as Asker.
No, it's his turn.
Don't get salty.
No, you can't salty. You can't. Don't interrupt him. Let him go.
I didn't cut anyone off. I added to it. I didn't interrupt people. So yeah.
You talked more than he did.
Yeah, I did because it was my turn.
It's
Notice how I
was. It's his. Let him go.
Don't get salty. It's okay. It's gonna be okay.
All the actors were spot on. Like I gotta yeah. Even Gerard Butler coming in doing it, but all the actors were great. The new parts that they did add were really well done. The little bit that he did.
It was only like 20 minutes in the beginning, but Snout
yeah, really.
That was different. Yeah. His father thing throughout the entire movie, that was different.
That was different a little bit. I was kind of hoping they brought back David Tennant to be the dad, because I'm like, that would have been pretty funny, because they brought Gerard Butler to be the dad. If they would have brought back David Tennant, his dad, which would be even funnier because of how small David Tennant is. Like, that's nothing like a Viking. So the dude that they got to play the dad is probably more fitting for sure. But my main thing was 100% the dragons needed to look so cool, and they nailed it 1000%. All the dragons were great. Toothless was perfect. So yeah, that was my main thing. I'm like, if you're gonna do live action with these dragons, they need to look amazing, and they 100% nail on it, or hammer on the head. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, they crushed it with that. All right, so let's get into our dislikes. Brian, what you dislike about it?
Well, honestly, besides the stuff that I don't want it to say like it was exactly the same thing, but besides those 4 things, it is still very much the same movie. Which is, it's a live action movie, and what they said the goal of this was just to bring it to a different crowd. So like, I understood that, but it didn't have to be exact words. There's like 2/3 of the movie were exactly the same words. So I didn't understand, like, you could have changed a little bit of it. So that was pretty much, seen. I thought that the age differences in the kids was kind of random. Like, and I don't feel like they all felt like the same age same age group. And like, I look at some of them, I'm like, you're 28. And I look at some of them, the other ones, I'm like, you're 16. And I'm like, okay, I didn't know where the line kind of was drawn. But that was interesting in itself. But once again, if they're not trying to make it exactly the same way, that's fine. You do how you want to do it. But Yeah, no, I think they did a good job with a lot of hitting the actual notes, but it's the same exact notes. So it's just you have to hit these notes, but sometimes when you're doing the same exact note, it kind of does fall a little flat for some things.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Yeah, it wasn't until afterward where I thought like the twins looked way older, and I get like they even like
they
all
said
their
they held back.
flunkies.
They held back 4 times, but it wasn't like a 4-year difference. It was like she's 38 years old.
I would see how old is how is she in real life? She's 30 in real life.
Mhm.
The
I think they both are.
He's 31, so yeah, they're right around the same age. I mean, meanwhile, like Nico Parker is 20.
Yeah, so like
and the guy who
there's
played
literally
Hiccup
a 10 years difference. Like, wait, what?
Was he's 17? No, he's gotta be older.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
he's 17.
like yeah.
So like when you look at that, then you look like, okay, well, you're not.
Yeah, even Fish. I mean, dude, you are not kidding. Fish Legs, the guy who played Fish Legs, which you saw him in Deadpool and stuff like that. He's 22, and then it goes to 22 to 30 with the twins. So
I was like, okay.
That's interesting. Okay. What are you, Brad, man? What are some issues you had with the movie?
It kind of fell into the trap of that a lot of live action remakes, the same trap they fall into. It was just kind of crippled by the limitations of live action. That kind of seems like something that happens whenever animated movies are remade. It was fine, but compared to the original, I just kind of found it a little to be a kind of drab. It was such a spot on remake to the point where I was questioning why it even needed to exist, especially when the original isn't even that old. For all the trouble they went through to remake a movie that's not even 20 years old yet and still feels fresh enough, they could have just re-released the original if they really wanted to introduce new audiences to how to Train Your Dragon. It kind of has me asking myself, since they're talking about making a sequel and they'll probably make the third one after that, is that just going to be a beat by beat remake of the second one? It was fine. Like I said, it was probably the most respectful live action remake I've watched. I definitely liked it more than I did Lilo and Stitch. But I'm just questioning why it needs to exist. If you're going to make something that identical to the original.
Well, what's going off of what you said, like it's the same exact director. You know, it's hard to change
same
a vision.
Actor, a lot of same actors.
Yeah, I mean, you got some of the same actors, Gerard Butler, but it's like it's hard to have a different vision from the same person. You know what I mean? Like,
he even said in an interview that he wanted to perfect the original version, which I think is just a line, because he didn't really. It didn't really seem like he perfected anything or even tried to perfect anything. He just hit copy paste.
Okay.
It was fine. I thought it had a lot of merits. I was just kind of questioning why I was sitting there watching it.
Okay. So for me, it same thing with you guys said. It was very much majority of it was the same. Like 85% of it was probably the same. Especially the back half of it was like
the last
shot for shot. It just, as awesome as the dragons looked, it just the scene that made me kind of like it's not hitting as good as the original was when Astrid first goes on the ride with Hiccup and Toothless. It was cool. It looked gorgeous. it just was, and maybe it was because like they were trying to go for that realism more than the magic, and it was supposed to be like, the Aladdin carpet ride kind of like that was the vibe you were supposed to get from it, and it just felt kind of like it was missing some of the magic a little bit, So I was just like, not that it was bad, it wasn't horrible, but it was just like I don't get that like magical sense of where she feels like she understands, like she gets it, like I didn't get that vibe. And that was kind of the point of the movie where I'm like, oh, it looks pretty, everything looks amazing, but it's just missing that specialness to it. And it might be because it's a remake that's almost shot for shot, word for word at some point. So, if you're doing that, it's like you're not trying to create magic, you're just trying to mimic it. We'll do now, later, and a never. Now means you got to go run and watch it right now. Later means you can wait till it's at home, and never means just skip it altogether. Brian, what are you giving the remake How to Train Your Dragon?
Liked it a lot. I don't know if I could say it now.
Mm.
It's just because it's hard. Once again, I'm a 40-year-old man. I don't know if I'm comparing it to 40-year-old men things. It's not now for me. It's just not. But for kids, I'm sure for them, I could say they could probably be now. But for me, it's a later.
Oh, wait, how did your girls like it?
Loved it. They loved it.
Yeah, just love it.
They want to go see it on Wednesday.
Okay, so you're gonna go see it on Wednesday then.
So,
Okay. What were you, Brandman? What you giving it?
I'll give it a later. It was fine. I didn't dislike it. I was fine sitting there watching it. I was just kind of questioning why I was sitting there watching it. It's like I said, I felt like it followed the same beats as the first one. For all that trouble, I just could have sat home and put in my Blu-ray of the first one. It's fine. I think the original wasn't nearly old enough to be remade, especially if they weren't gonna if they were just gonna make a Xerox copy. I can't sanction this movie's existence. It's fine, but I could have watched the original one, or I could have waited, or they could have just re-released the 15-year-old original. I thought the set, I liked the set design. It was I liked the actors they selected. I thought everyone did what they were supposed to do, but it was, I don't know. I wouldn't say go rush out and watch it.
Yeah. Okay. And for me, I'm giving it a later too. Yeah, like I had a fun time watching it. Seeing all the dragons were cool. But it didn't like change much of how I already feel about this franchise. And I enjoy this franchise a lot. So yeah. But I'd definitely give it a later. If you do enjoy the franchise, then I think you're gonna want to go and see the dragons looking super cool.
The CGI is excellent.
So
I mean, that's why you do
so good.
But that's why you do a live action remake, to see the CGI, these dragons in CGI, and interact with a character that looks like you. That's why you do these things, right? Which is exactly why they're going to make a lot of money. But for me, it's like, it's whatever. But for my kids, they love it, and they made it PG, not R. So it's not for me; it's for them. So that I respect why they did it, and so I'm getting there later. If you like this franchise, go see it.
Yeah. If you're into How to Train Your Dragon and it's like something you do enjoy a lot, like you're gonna have a blast. Yeah, I mean, I had a really fun time watching it. Seeing all the faces, that Toothless made, and the noises and stuff like that. I'm like, it was pretty cool. The little dragon, I forgot what it's called, but the little one, when they fight him, and he bites the nose. I'm like, that looks, when they did a close up on it and it looked like a lizard, like it looked really, really well done. So, even the big dragon at the end was really cool looking. So, yeah, visually amazing. But for me, it's just It's a later. But yeah, that is our thoughts for the How to Train Your Dragon live action remake. Yeah, we all kind of give our thoughts and have different opinions about it, but we want to hear from you guys. So leave a comment down below. Let us know what you thought about this remake. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let us know some of the details on why you like it or hate it. But we appreciate everyone coming in, hanging out with us. And if you want to be part of the live show, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It helps us out a ton. And yeah, we appreciate everyone in our live chat right now who was part of the show. But we want you guys to stick around because we're going to move on to our next topic for the night.